I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am, oh God, make me new once again. I've traveled so far.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Fridays with Francis. It's good to be back with you after taking a week off. We were able to spend a little time down on the coast. It was pleasant to be able to look out over the ocean and to hear the sounds of the ocean. I've always found that very comforting and very peaceful. And it took my mind back to a story that I read quite some time ago about the song that whales sing. A scientist became very intrigued by the whales' song, the humpback whales singing. We're told that all of the males of a particular pod will sing the same song. And then over time, the song becomes more and more complex and more enlarged, and eventually they'll come to a point in time when they'll change the song and they'll sing a new song. But in the study that the scientists observed, they were studying humpback whales from the Pacific Ocean and humpback whales from the Indian Ocean that encountered one another. Each sang their own song. They had a different song from one another. But when the humpback whales of the Pacific Ocean encountered the Indian Ocean whales, a strange thing occurred. They began to sing the song of the Indian Ocean whales. They were singing a new song. Over the course of about 2 years, they completely absorbed the song that the Indian Ocean whales were singing, completely influenced by those whales and the singing of their song. It's a fascinating process, fascinating study to think about. And it got me to thinking about the verses of Scripture that we read. There's at least two places that we find these words. One is in 1 Chronicles chapter 16, beginning around verse 23, and the other is Psalm 96. They are words of King David about the time that the ark was restored to the place of prominence in the kingdom. And that's a fascinating story all by itself, and I encourage you to spend some time looking at that if you're not familiar with it. But the words from 1 Chronicles chapter 16 read like this: "Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Tell of his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be revered above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and joy are in his place." And then, as David began writing the psalm, the 96th Psalm, the words are very similar, but they are changed a bit. He says, "Sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth. Sing unto the Lord, bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all people. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before him, strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto the Lord, O ye kindreds of people, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. The message is an interesting message. It's in a time when the nations are coming together, and David is now beginning to take charge of ruling the unified nations of Judah and Israel. And David is talking about singing a new song. The things that comes through in all of this is the significant point that is being made, that the song is to be sung, but not just for the Jews, not just for Israel or Judah, but for all the world. It is a reminder that from the very beginning, God created the special mission of his chosen people to take his message into all the world. We're very familiar with the call that God made upon Abraham, then known as Abram, in the 12th chapter of Genesis. The patriarchal promise that we've often heard quoted and preached from. But the part that we often overlook is the what I consider to be the third part of the patriarchal promise. It's where God said to Abram, "I'll make you a great and mighty nation. I'll give you a land in which to put the nation, so that all the nations of the world may be blessed by you." You see, the mission of God's people has always been to proclaim far and wide the goodness of God. God the Creator, God the Sustainer, God the Giver of all life. God who so loved the world that God gave God's one and only Son, so that whoever believes in Jesus may have everlasting life. And so David talks about singing a new song. But here's the real question. What new song do you sing? It's fascinating, isn't it, to look at the story of the whales. And the Pacific whales and the Indian whales encounter each other, but the Pacific whales completely absorb the song of the Indian Ocean whales. They're not singing a new song at all. It's new only to them. But they're singing an old song that has been sung by others. So, what song are you singing? What is the message that you are proclaiming? Are we influenced by the forces that are around us? That we absorb the characteristics of the songs we've been hearing? Is the culture dictating to us the melody that we sing? Or are we being distinctive, following the Christ of God, proclaiming the message of the gospel, not just for our clan, but for the whole world? Well, I do believe that this is a time in the history of humanity when a new song needs to be sung. And I believe the world is weary of the old songs we've been singing. Perhaps we can sing a new song, a song of deliverance, a song of peace, a song of victory, a song of salvation, a song of the Christ of God, who has loved us with an everlasting love. Well, that's the thought for this Friday with Francis. I trust that you will find it helpful. And before I close, let me just say one last thing. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like for me, and I will appreciate it. So thank you, and go in peace, and go with God.
I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am, oh God, make me new once again. I've traveled so far from family and home, from the God who knows me as one of God's own. By baptism waters, I've stood before the Lord. Oh God, won't you cleanse me once more? I come to the Father, I come to the Son, I come to the Spirit, the three in one. I come to the water, just as I am.